And I forgot to take the overlay off. We're here. I swear we are.
Better late than never. That's what they're saying in WWE is they're back in business. Better late than never. They have fans this year. Lord Cash, it is WrestleMania week here on the Slam Nation show. I'm AllThatPat. We're so happy to have you here live on Monday. And Lord Cash is wearing a classic, a WrestleMania 25 jersey. What's so special about that one? 23, 22, 24, 24. All right.
It was one of those numbers. So it was March 30th, 2008 was Orlando, Florida. So back when we lived in the same state 13 years ago, we went to my very first WrestleMania. I can't speak to if it was yours, but I believe it was.
It was my first, yes.
So that and our good buddy Marcus joined us. It was the three amigos going to WrestleMania. It was definitely a blast. It was hot because it was just open stadium, everything, but it was so much fun. I had the time of my life doing that WrestleMania. I really, really wish I could do another one.
Yeah, no, ditto. I've been to two, and hopefully we'll be to another one sooner than later. I mean, this would have been a great one to go to. I mean, it's going to be different, but I don't know if I was quite ready for it. But
yeah, well, and because last year was technically supposed to be at where it is this year, so had things not happened, maybe I might have been able to finagle something, depending on what life situations were. I can't remember exactly what was going on. So yeah, it's all good though.
Exactly, a lot was going on, and as you mentioned, WrestleMania is only 5 days away. It starts on Saturday. It runs 2 days again, just like last year, I believe. Lord Cash, what are your thoughts about it being 2 days? You think it's going to be like a new thing from now on?
I honestly do. It makes it. This has been billed as the greatest spectacle, the greatest show, in sports entertainment. Why condense it to just one night? We've already, last year, this year, it's been built to 2 nights. Why go? Like, how are you going to be able to go back? How are you going to put that genie back in the bottle?
Yeah, and what's interesting when you say that is some people are like, even Bitter Ritz, honestly, was like 2 nights. It's not gotten any shorter though, because it gotten to a point that it was like 8 hours in one day, which is just bonkers.
Yeah.
Last year's WrestleMania, it was only like 3.5 hours each night. So
yeah.
You're just splitting it up and you give it a little bit of a break. So, yeah, I think it's a really good thing to have. And when WrestleMania comes to town, typically a lot of other companies, they'll put on shows. So I think what WWE in many ways is doing is they're kind of, I don't know if the word hoarding is, but it's definitely like they're taking advantage of every possible moment of that week. So it's their programming, leaving no room for anybody else.
Yeah, why? It's there's just so much stuff out there to be, to be watched, to be seen, especially, with a lot of the television stuff going on. Tonight you've got Raw. Tomorrow night is the inductees to the Hall of Fame, both the class of 2020 as well as 21. And of course you have your lower card, brackets of NXT, which is really, I don't know if that's really fair to say that they're like the undercard, but there's the training and development area of WWE. You kind of get moved up to the big leagues. But there's just so much stuff with their Stand and Deliver Takeover, the UK stuff, and then of course SmackDown on Friday, WrestleMania Saturday, Sunday, and then we do it all over again. We're Raw, and then of course I believe NXT is moving starting next week from Wednesday to Tuesday night with their new deal that they've got with is it USA?
Yeah, yep, they're on USA, and they're still on not the WWE Network anymore. The WWE Network moment of silence. It's gone. Yeah, it's now only on Peacock. So hopefully you got your subscription migrated over. Otherwise, Saturday and Sunday, you're going to be pretty disappointed. Make sure to take advantage of that. And I don't know if they're still offering that 4-month for $250 a month deal, but
I believe so.
Yeah.
So when you register, you put in the code Peacock Mania. So that will give you 4 months at $2.50 each month. So for 1 month of what you would be paying for the WWE Network, you're getting 4 months of Peacock premium for the pretty much the exact same price. So it's a no-brainer to jump on that. You're going to get both nights of WrestleMania. You're going to get the next one is Money in the Bank, I believe, is the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So you're going to get that and so much more with just $10 worth of admission. You can't beat that price. Exactly.
And, as you talked about, like all the different things that are happening this week, the first thing that you're going to see after Raw tonight is the WWE Hall of Fame. They're going to be collaborating with last year's inductees for 2020 and this year's inductees. Just as a little bit of a rundown, Japanese legend, the Jushin Thunder Liger, is going to be appearing. I don't know if he actually made it over, but either way, he's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame for 2021, as is this man who has been long overdue, the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith. Now, I think that he was in some ways before your time, but I mean, what do you know about the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith?
He liked going for long walks. As long as he was on a leash, he was okay with that.
Moving on.
I really don't know much about the British Bulldog. I know, I can't even remotely think of anything else to say.
Yeah, I mean, Bulldog, he was a really well-known, he was a legendary tag team wrestler with Dynamite Kid, member of the Hart Foundation stable, yep. Intercontinental champion, had one of the greatest SummerSlam matches of all time. It was the first time that the Intercontinental Championship ever headlined that show, beating the legendary Bret the Hitman Hart. He had a couple late in his career runs in WCW and coming back to WWF. Those weren't that great, but the bottom line is Bulldog is definitely well overdue in the company's Hall of Fame. John Bradshaw Layfield is going to be joining the Hallowed Halls. He was the longest reigning SmackDown champion for a while. This is definitely when you and I, Brian, were watching wrestling, when he was the god of wrestling.
Oh yeah, definitely. He definitely made a name for himself in the early 2000s, where he kind of made that transition from the APA over to JBL, the definitely the New York moneymaker. I don't know if that was actually ever a moniker of his or not, but I'm going with it right now.
Because he was known for that, for sure. A controversial one for people that don't really understand the business was the Bella Twins. Their in-ring career was fine too, but they really set the standard for branding themselves in and out of the wrestling career. Whether it be for the Total Bellas or Total Divas TV show, they own their own winery. They've got our own clothing line. And quite honestly, even back when they were first starting out with the company, they were actually well known as being the, I know the term arm candy is kind of sexist. I don't mean it to be in that way, but the bottom line is they were the valet, so to speak, for every Raw guest host back in the day. And honestly, that got their faces out there, and that gave them some real, again, some real marquee value once they actually then start going into the ring and start doing their other ventures. So again, the Bella Twins have done quite a bit for themselves in the world of professional wrestling. So I think they deserve it, quite honestly. But at first, I have heard a lot of people are like, why are they going in? Well, hopefully I just kind of covered it.
I feel that they are due for Hall of Fame. I do feel it's too soon. That potentially there are other people that have been waiting far too long to possibly get in there. Examples, I have none. But just in case that was a follow-up question of yours. But I do feel that it was just they've only been out of the business, so to speak, for 5 years.
Right.
I
think when it comes, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to the WWE Hall of Fame, they kind of have these I don't want to say genres, but they have these pockets of inductees, so to speak, that they want to hit every
checklist they have to go through.
Yeah, and one of them is somebody from the women's division. And getting inducted as a woman wrestler, it's not easier. However, they're based on up until the last 5 years, there were not as many competitors.
Right.
The women's wrestling explosion happened back in, I think, 2005-ish, 2006. No, I mean 2015. And so, like, I think that in, like, say 10 years, it's going to be way more competitive as far as who gets inducted every year. But at this point, I don't know too many other women wrestlers that have not been inducted yet, because we're kind of jumping around. But covering the official 2021 inductees, Molly Holly has been inducted this year as well. So, I mean, other than that, I mean, you have had, Alundra Blaze, you've had, for better or for worse, Fabulous Moolah, Mae Young, Beth Phoenix, Trish Stratus, Lita. They're all inducted. I mean, I don't know who else would be, to go in.
Has Tori Wilson gone in?
Yeah, she did. She went in last year.
Stacy Keibler?
No, Stacy has not gone in.
Victoria?
You're right. You're pulling some out because, yeah, Victoria has not either. And either is Katie Vick.
Well, I think they're going for like an anniversary year. So maybe, in 25 or something like that.
It could be. I mean, I think it's a tragedy that Kane is going in before Katie Vick. I mean, come on.
It was bound to happen.
No, but in all seriousness, Kane is getting inducted this year as well as part of the 2021 class. I mean, there's no argument here for me. I mean, Kane is probably the true headliner of this year's class.
Yeah, definitely. My entire time of watching from the early 2000s, late 90s, Kane has been very much prevalent during that time, doing his time with The Undertaker, the Brothers of Destruction, and just, the times that, he's gone as a singles competitor and everything that he's done. Absolutely 100%. Kane is a Hall of Famer by every account.
Don't forget, he is now a former 24/7 champion as well.
Very true. So he has a lot under his belt that he's bringing to the Hall of Fame.
Also, talking about the Hall of Fame, I mean, the NWO, the New World Order, they're putting in a bunch of different two-time Hall of Famers this year with this induction. Hulk, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall have already been inducted previously. So now they're going to be double ring wearers, and then Six Pac or X Pac, whatever you want to call Sean Waltman, he's going to be joining the field as well. That's a huge induction this year with those four. Yeah,
definitely making the double rings a very more of a thing, especially when you've got people that, if you've been inducted as a singles competitor and then you're part of a stable, that's how like Ric Flair was there, because again, he part of the Four Horsemen, and as well as a single competitor. If they ever do, like when they do Evolution, he's going to be a 3-time ring wearer. It's going to be crazy.
And you're absolutely correct. And I remember when the NWO was originally announced last year to be in the Hall of Fame, there was a lot of uproar because somebody was missing. A very important figure of that New World Order was missing. And in some weird way, thanks to the pandemic, not you're thinking that for anything, but they're actually almost able to rectify that, because Eazy-E himself, Eric Bischoff, is also getting inducted this year separately. But Lord Cash, do you think there might be an opportunity to have all of them on the stage at once?
For this year?
Yeah, I mean, they're all going out, I think, the same time. So I wouldn't be surprised if they end up on the stage anyway.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't think that there would be anything different than doing all of that. And in fact, I'm looking at a photo right here. I'm going to...
Spoilers!
I'm curious. So I'm going to bring this up here. I guess that was just the 2020. Guess, Eric Bischoff wasn't part of that one, but it's going to be pretty cool seeing them all on one screen together again.
Exactly. I mean, I've been to the Hall of Fame myself, and it's quite the moment. I definitely enjoyed it for sure, because we went in the year that Mick Foley and Booker T and Donald Trump were inducted into the Hall of Fame at Madison Square Garden. It's a great time, though, for sure. A couple others that are getting inducted, kind of a surprise. The great Khali, granted, he made a huge transition for the company into the Indian market, which is one of the largest markets in the entire world. So just for that alone, I think that they're putting him in there for that factor. I mean, he is a WWO world champion. not exactly lighting the ring on fire back in the day, but he's a huge name in his native country. So I think that's going to be it's kind of a political thing to put him in there. And I don't mean that in a negative sense whatsoever, but kind of like we mentioned a couple minutes ago, the company does have reasons they put people in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you've got to cater to that international market a little bit. You do have a lot of people that watch from the United States, but like technically the W Network is not forgotten. It's just you can watch that overseas in the other countries, but here in the United States, it's kind of transitioned its way into the Peacock network. So overseas in India, China, one would say that the Liger was your kind of your international market from last year.
Exactly.
And, Khali is going to be your international market for this year.
Exactly. And I'd be curious if either one of them were able to travel due to the restrictions. We'll be able to see that because I don't believe I saw Liger on the group photo for 2020, but who knows? Now,
they probably zoomed in.
It's possible. In all seriousness, they might do like a speech or something.
Yeah.
There's a couple other inductees for the Hall of Fame this year just to round it out. Mr. Monday Night, Rob Van Dam, definitely very deserving. He spent the better part of the last 5 years over in Impact Wrestling. Really transitioned his character to a more almost like a heel character, a very sarcastic heel character over there. But he is getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I mean, he's had all the belts as well. Highly decorated tag team, Intercontinental, Hardcore, and even WWE champion. Again, he was another part of your and I's experiences back when we were watching wrestling together. I'm a big fan of Rob Van Dam, and I'm guessing you were as well.
Oh yeah, he was. It was great. I love. He definitely had the showmanship that you would want to have your performers to be to bring in the audience to watch you. So he catered to the audience, catered to the fans. Doing his all Rob Van Dam. And as soon as someone does that, then you start to you do the moniker. Whether it be RVD or Rob Van Dam.
Or Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure it's going to be there.
And we do have a celebrity induction. William Shatner from Star Trek fame. Now, again, it's floating around your time of wrestling, but it's funny. He was actually very involved in the WWE, old WWF back in the day. He had actually a long-term rivalry with Jerry the King Lawler.
Well, who doesn't?
Yeah, I know, right? I hate him myself. No, but like, yeah, he got involved with him on Raw and the King's Court quite a few times. He was in Bret Hart's corner for a match. And then he served as the Raw general manager back in I think probably 15. And I don't know if do you remember that when he was singing everybody's theme songs?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, definitely look it up. I'm sure it's on YouTube. It was pretty.
I kind of think I do.
Yeah, Shatner was pretty infamous for doing spoken word singing back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And he definitely did that for Monday Night Raw for the guest general manager. Now, if we're talking about general managers, we're talking about hosts as well. And one of the hosts of WrestleMania this year is Titus O'Neil, who has earned the Warrior Award this year. And I've also heard people online saying like, oh my God, Titus O'Neil's still in the company. Yes, he is actually a very active member of the company, does a ton of charitable work. It's very impressive what he does. I was actually doing a project on him about a month and a half ago for actually Black History Month, believe it or not. I was talking to my students about it a little bit. I was trying to get something together for that. And he is such an important figurehead in his community in the Tampa Bay area. And just I don't know, you'll be able to hear a lot about it at his induction speech, but he has definitely shown the spirit of what the Ultimate Warrior wanted this award to be, of someone that like really helps the community and just helps make his world a better place. So Titus O'Neil, very well deserving of the Hall of Fame. And I don't know, maybe we'll get some screen time, for him, for Titus Worldwide. But I don't know, a really good employee for the company for sure.
Yeah, some of the nonprofits that an organization that he works with is Susan G. Komen with breast cancer, Boys and Girls Club of America, as well as the Special Olympics. So he's definitely in there amongst the community. So he's actually written a book called "There's No Such Thing as a Bad Kid: How I Went from a Stereotype to Prototype" back in 2019. So there is, I think this is a very well-deserved award for Titus O'Neil. I am super happy, and I'm actually, I believe this is the first time one of their own has won this award. Everyone else, but it's been given to other people, but not necessarily within their own company. Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, there was an office worker a couple years ago that they did get the award.
You're right,
but I know what you're saying though. The gist is
more of a face,
yeah,
than just the body behind the scenes. So yeah,
exactly. Now, do you remember who the first Warrior Award recipient was?
Well, if it wasn't the Warrior, then it was what was the kid's name?
Connor the Crusher.
Yeah, Connor the Crusher.
Yeah, that was a very, very big moment for him, and the family for sure.
Oh yeah.
So now that we've talked about the Hall of Fame itself, I mean, as Lord Cash mentioned a little while ago, this week's going to be very busy, but we can't talk about this week without really going what the main event itself is, and that is WrestleMania. Actually, just before we dig into WrestleMania itself, they are doing a WrestleMania, almost like a kickoff show, so to speak, on Friday Night SmackDown this year. There are a couple matches that are going on for that, including the WWE Tag Team Championships for SmackDown are going to be defended in a 4-way, and then also the Andre the Giant Battle Royal are going to be taking place on those particular days.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts when they announced that those two matches are going to be taking place on SmackDown and not at WrestleMania itself?
I found that really weird. I'm like, you're this close to the actual event. Why? Like, I understand, as you're saying, like, you don't want to necessarily make the nights that much longer, but it's WrestleMania. This is when you're supposed to be doing it.
Right, and this is going to be the first time these performers have performed in front of an actual audience in over a year, so it's almost going to be like a reward to hear that pop of the crowd.
Yeah.
I feel worse, oddly enough, for the tag title match because those eight men have been actually in a program for the past 3 months, 2-3 months. Like in some way or another, they have been all interacting, for that title. So that's an actually established match, so to speak. The Andre the Giant Battle Royal, it's an opportunity for a lot of the guys to get in there. But there's no storylines going into that I can tell. But like I said, that 8-man tag match, I'm really looking forward to that in general. Just out of curiosity, I know we don't have it all put up officially, but let's start making the predictions, right? Because we'll start with SmackDown and dive into the show itself. Tag team title match. Who do you got?
So I'm looking here. Who exactly is in that match?
So we've got the Dirty Dogs.
Right.
They're defending the tag team titles against Alpha Academy,
the
Mysterios, and then the Street Profits. I think any of them could win the match realistically because they've all been pushed in their own ways. I've got my favorite, but
I'm wondering, because again, what we kind of alluded to the other day, with the Mysterios actually taking the belts, that way you actually have a father and son dynamic as tag team champions.
Right.
So my first guess is to say that, but I'm wondering if you're going to go and give it to the Alpha Academy.
So I would like the Alpha Academy to win because I'd like to have Otis win his first actual taste of gold. I think he is coming into his own in the heel character. I still miss the the other version of him, but I still have to go with Rey Mysterio and Dominic. I just think that tells the story about again that first time ever of the tag team being a father and son. That's my pick ultimately.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I see it happening. I'm just wondering if maybe Otis pins Dominic, and then that's a rematch for either on SmackDown next week, or that sets up for Money in the Bank.
It could, and they might want to give the Mysterios that win in front of people.
Yeah.
After Mania is done, is Money in the Bank going to be in front of a live audience? We don't know yet.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be kind of a gauging, to see what's what, testing the waters.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it sounds like we're at least in agreement that the Dirty Dogs are not retaining the titles.
I don't think they are. I just think there's too much going on. I don't think the Street Profits would take the titles back. I think they would want to, especially in it's WrestleMania season. You want to give the belt to like new blood,
right?
And I think either the Mysterios or Alpha Academy would be that. And I don't know if the Dirty Dogs are in a position to keep the title.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with just the Mysterios just for the sake of it. And then you're going to you say you're going to go with Alpha Academy?
Yeah, just to, again, I don't, we're not doing the same answer. A little controversy going on, little, haha, you were wrong, I was right type of thing. But again, I feel like it's going to do that. And I almost guarantee you, like Otis is going to pin Dominic, and that's going to set up for either a rematch on SmackDown next Friday, and or set up for a number one contender match at Money in the Bank. And then that's when they would get it.
Sounds good. Now, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, I think they're going to have a lot of different people added and subtracted throughout the week. So, I mean, I could show the list of the people now, but it's basically anybody that's not on the card. My thought right now, just to kind of because the only person I think has momentum would be Jey Uso. I think that they're trying to push his. They kept saying his name, main event Jey Uso. So
right,
this is like a victory that he needs to kind of even push him above and beyond to get out of the quote shadow of being Roman Reigns' lackey. He'll still be with him, but it'll give him some momentum. So I'm going to pick Jey Uso to win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal this year.
Huh. Because I'm trying to think of. I know. Is that who you said the last time? Because I know you mentioned a name that you feel like that if it happens, that's gonna be who it's gonna be, and I don't know if it was either that or Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, no, I'm sticking with Jey Uso because I was expecting Mustafa Ali to do a lot of things at this point. See him, but yeah, I still think Jey Uso has a lot to prove. And again, my ears are ringing because all Friday they said his name at main event Jey Uso so many times. So I think that the company has big things in mind for him to push him even beyond because he's always got great matches and he is typically in the main events.
Right. Well, I know they think they've announced at least 22 competitors from Akira Tawazaka to all the way down to Tucker alphabetically. So this is a over the top type of scenario. Yeah, I don't know. Jey Uso is an excellent thing. Just to again, I kind of want to steal what you said. Either go Mustafa or Shinsuke. I'm gonna go Mustafa.
All right.
Just it's one of those. It's a 1 out of 22. You really don't have a good shot. Just it's who they're gonna promote. And again, I don't want to take your piggyback off of yours, but yeah.
We can agree. It's okay.
I know, we can. I just want to, do it for the controversy.
Right. So as we go into the actual WrestleMania show itself proper, I believe these are all on night one. I'm going to start with at least the one that, honestly, I look forward to the least.
So, okay. I was going to say, is it that or Bad Bunny?
I'm actually interested in the Bad Bunny match just because I've never seen the guy in the ring and I'm curious.
Right.
This match, I mean, I don't know. In my neighborhood, the trash gets picked up on Monday, but I think the trash getting picked up a special order in Tampa on Saturday. This match is hot garbage. You've got this guy, Braun Strowman, who was dominant. I've made my complaints for so many episodes now. He was being able to almost basically get hit by cars. I know I'm exaggerating, but it took 6 guys to hit finishers on him to even try to eliminate him in an Elimination Chamber match 4 years ago. And now Shane McMahon goes Slime Time Live and dumps a bucket of green goo on him. He can't get off his feet. It's off his back. It's ridiculous. Now I'm scared about this one, Lord Cash. because to me, easy money goes against the money. And Braun Strowman should be able to destroy him. Just do a couple choo-choo sounds, run around the ring, and just annihilate him in a minute and a half. Yeah. But 2 years ago, Shane McMahon beat The Miz. Like, but The Miz was the good guy in that.
Right.
I mean, he was trying to get like revenge for Shane hitting his father, from turning on him, for costing him the tag titles, all this nonsense. And Shane McMahon, the 50-year-old, age is just a number, but the guy's part-time, he beat The Miz. So this scares me. He might pull it out against Braun Strowman, especially because he's got all the guys in his corner, when he's got Elias and Jackson Riker in his corner. I don't know. I'll let you pick first, so that way but I'm a little afraid. I'm gonna be honest with you.
So there's things that I've mentioned. One thing that we haven't mentioned: this is going to be in a steel cage.
That is true.
So one of the other things that I'm going to add to our predictions is how exactly is the winner going to win? Is this going to be by pinfall, submission, or by escaping?
I know how I see it, but what are your thoughts as far as like first and foremost, like who do you got? Like, do you think it's going to be Strowman, or do you think it's going to be Shane?
Because it's a steel cage, other people are going to get involved.
Right, which is the complete opposite of what the point of a steel cage is, but that's just how it happens.
So I almost think that the two that you just mentioned, Elias and Jackson Riker, are going to get involved, and I think that he's going to get handcuffed to the opposite end, and Shane is going to be able to walk out of the match.
Very similarly, I think that Strowman's going to destroy him. However, he's going to do some kind of a thing where he picks him up and throws him against the steel wall.
And it's going to break.
Collapse. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we're both in agreement, though. Braun Strowman is not going to win on Saturday night, apparently.
I just think that the number game is going to be against him.
Yeah.
So, did that happen to somebody? Was it Mick Foley?
Yeah, he did. So he was fighting Big Show, I believe, and he did a power slam against the wall or something of the cage, and it collapsed.
Yeah.
So, and I know Roman Reigns, I think, tackled Lesnar through it once too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just don't think I don't think Strowman's going to win, and it sounds like we're both in agreement on that one. I hope we're both wrong.
Yeah. Well, it's still up in the air. We'll have to find out.
Now, you mentioned this before. Bad Bunny making his professional wrestling debut against The Miz in a one-on-one match on Saturday night. I don't know. Bad Bunny is. I remember when he first came out the Royal Rumble, I was trashing the guy like crazy. I mean, he was like so stupid, and it's to me. I didn't get it. I didn't get him. I didn't get his music. But he has proven a lot to me actually in the last couple months. He's really fit into the whole company. He belongs on Raw, oddly enough. He's a former champion. He actually did that one well. I mentioned before, like, I liked how he was like acting all like, paranoid almost while being at the ring, with the belt. I think The Miz can carry him to a good match for sure. And I mean, I'd be stunned if they don't have him win. A brand new character with a huge following out in social media and also in just other avenues of entertainment. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't beat The Miz. But it is feasible that he doesn't win, and they basically are able to kind of do some kind of like a screw job finish, which will lead to the actual tag team match that everybody was expecting. But I can go either way in all reality. What are your thoughts?
I think it would not be in the best interest to squash Bad Bunny. So I kind of think that he's going to win. Yeah.
Yeah, I am going to ultimately say that he's going to win as well, but I do think the match isn't going to end with him just raising his hands. I would imagine that Morrison's going to jump him, and then you have Damian Priest getting involved, and it'll just end up in a pull-apart brawl, which again will lead to Money in the Bank, because hopefully Morrison will be healed.
Right.
He hurt his knee, and maybe there'll be an opportunity for that. But yeah, again, we're in agreement again. I think, again, we all do think that Bad Bunny is going to pull out a victory. It's just kind of like, what's going to happen at the end.
Yeah, it's just kind of the how we're going to get there, but we all going to end up at the same spot.
Yeah. I think he's going to knock him out with a punch. That's the only thing he's been able to show so far. But then again,
that was a pretty nice, right hook that he gave.
Oh, absolutely. We might see something crazy, though. I remember Shane McMahon, when he first started wrestling, he did like a shooting star press on the last couple of years. I'm like, well, I never guessed it. So he might hit something ridiculous off the top rope. Maybe he's been secretly training.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah, we'll find out on Saturday.
So another match that's coming up too, like this. Honestly, this is probably the match I'm most looking forward to for like the whole weekend, to be honest with you. And that is Cesaro getting his first ever singles match at WrestleMania, going against the SmackDown savior, Seth Rollins, or as Seth likes to call himself, Mr. WrestleMania. I do believe that name has already been taken by somebody.
Yeah, but if signature moves can be passed down the road, so can monikers, I believe.
That is true. I mean, Becky Lynch became the man.
There you go.
So I'm guessing you and I are going to be in agreement on this one too, believe it or not. But I think this has to be Cesaro's night to shine. It would be so backwards thinking if after all this push for the past 3 months, if all of a sudden he actually goes into WrestleMania and loses. Seth Rollins doesn't need a victory anymore. He's just like it's so firmly established. I think Cesaro is going to win. I don't think my original prediction is going to happen, though, when he wins the belt in the second night. Love to see it, but I do think he's still going to walk out of Mania with a title. With a victory. Now,
at one point, wasn't Seth Rollins undefeated at WrestleMania?
Yeah. I mean, he lost. I think he lost to Kevin Owens last year, didn't he?
I don't remember. We'll go with yes.
But I do think you're right. Because he beat Lesnar. He beat. Oh no. He lost to Randy Orton in one of the best finishes ever.
Was that the? Oh, it was the stomp to the RKO.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's what was fantastic. So yeah, I'm definitely going with the Cesaro on this one as well. That was just had he been, I know for a while he was going on that, undefeated gimmick for maybe 3 or 4 years.
Right.
There's only going to be one person that's going to make it out of WrestleMania being undefeated. And that's Michael
Nicholas. Well, and Nicholas, former tag team champion.
True.
Maybe next year they'll do like a battle of the undefeated streaks. Michael Cole and Nicholas. I mean, Nicholas has some years on him now.
Yeah, he's probably 15, 16 now.
I think so.
So,
since we do agree though with the match outcome in essence, how do you think it's going to win though? How do you think it is going to end? Because Cesaro's got a bunch of moves in his trick book. He's got the swing, he's got the sharpshooter, he's got the gotch neutralizer, he's got the launching uppercut. He could put him away in any fashion, or maybe the most devastating move in all professional wrestling, the roll up. What do you think is going to happen?
Definitely, there's going to be the swing is going to happen. He's going to take him for a spin. And I think he's going to get that European uppercut, and possibly after that go to because what else is his finisher?
So he's got the gotch neutralizer, which is that it's almost like a Styles Clash where he slams him on his face out of a pile driver.
Okay, yeah, I'm picturing it, but it's not. It's fuzzy. But yeah, and then what else does he have?
he has the whatchamacallit. That's not the name of it, but he has the sharpshooter.
Okay. What is your thought?
Well, by the way, just for just for clarity, that is the Gotch neutralizer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that Cesaro is going to he's going to do a reversal of the stomp, the super uppercut, and then he's going to pick him up and hit him with the Gotch neutralizer and pin him.
Okay.
There will be a spin though, like a swing though, as you said too. So
Yeah.
I'm going for pinfall. I think he's going to pin him.
I think he's going to make him submit.
I think either one of those things could happen for sure because they've been established pretty well. So I think that's a good concept. I would not be surprised if they have a rematch at Money in the Bank where the swing is eliminated, though. Like it's barred from the match for some reason.
You can't beat me without doing the spin. Okay, fine.
Now, Bad Bunny, we mentioned, is making his WrestleMania debut, but also, so is this man, Almost, and AJ Styles going after the New Day and the Raw Tag Team titles. Lots of hype for the big man. He's been with the company now for the better part of a year. Originally being under a hood as the Masked Ninja as far as Akira Tozawa's gang. And then he was the bouncer for the short-lived Raw Underground. And now he's with AJ Styles. Again, first his actual official debut. Is he going to go the way of Fandango and actually win his WrestleMania debut?
That is a great question.
That's what I come up with, Lord Cash. Only the greatest questions.
Yes. I'm trying. I've been going back and forth on this one, so that's why I'm kind of hemming and hawing a little bit on this. I think they might win
the tag titles.
Yeah, I think they just might. What are your thoughts?
So again, I could see it one or the other, right?
That's usually how it goes.
Exactly. I only have two choices, unless there's going to be a run-in from Hornswoggle and his mystery partner. No. No, I mean, the New Day doesn't need the belts. And it's very well possible that they were used as a transitional tag team champions. So that way they got the belts off of the Hurt Business to get them on somebody else. Because a heel team beating heel team is kind of, awkward. So they might have used them as kind of like that middle ground, that buffer. However, we could also see Omos turn on AJ, kind of getting sick of not being understood. But I think it's way too early for that.
Yeah.
I got to say, yeah, I think that we're going to see new tag team champions, quite honestly. I think it's a pretty predictable outcome. I think they're just going to win. I think it's going to be clean. And in my opinion, I think actually, no. They're going to win. But I think AJ Styles is going to get the pin. After Almost does the damage.
Right. So AJ's going to pin, but who's he going to pin?
I think Xavier.
Because that was going to be one of my my things is, especially with it being a tag team, who's gonna do the pinning and who's gonna get pinned.
Well, exactly. A lot of opportunities for doing points, and everybody that's watching, just so you know, Lord Cash and I are we're competing for a prestigious championship trophy for the predictions on WrestleMania and beyond. We'll be able to tell you next week as far as who's up in the series, what our current score is. So we're getting all sorts of points in here.
Yeah. So I think that Omos is going to pin, and he's going to pin Xavier.
Okay. So we both agree on the pinned person, but the pinner.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go different on the pinner.
All right.
So we'll see how that plays out.
So we're just getting done with it, almost done with the first night, but we still got a couple more matches just in general. Reminder again, WrestleMania is 5 days away on the Peacock Network, unless you're outside the country. You can check that out on the WWE Network still if you're outside the United States. Again, Lord Cash and I are covering the festivities of this whole week. Again, on the Slam Nation Show. In case you're just joining us, please make sure that you subscribe, like, and all those things, whether you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch, whatever it is. We do appreciate all of the views and the support. Going into the last two matches of our opening night, our women's championship match from SmackDown. It's been a long time coming, with Sasha Banks defending against Bianca Belair. I think the outcome is going to be pretty predictable, but I don't know. This feud has been handled terribly. Too many people getting involved, making no sense of the situation. Both competitors have been made to look like fools. They're constantly losing matches, bickering about nothing. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of how the feud's been going. However, I do look forward to the match itself. I'm a big Sasha Banks fan. Bianca Belair's got a lot of talent. And I think both those ladies are going to really tear it up on the opening night of WrestleMania. What are your thoughts going into that match, Lord Cash?
Yeah, I agree. Both of them are extremely talented. Bianca coming up from NXT, winning the Royal Rumble, having the opportunity to main event for WrestleMania. Absolutely. I do feel that it's going to be a out of the park match. I do think that, and I think we're on agreement with this, because I think we've been saying it for the past 2 months, that Bianca is going to be the one that's going to walk out with the belt. We need that fresh blood in the women's division, and definitely Bianca's got that. And I do feel that that's going to be the victor of that match.
Yeah, and I think that the finish of the match is going to be predictable. It'll be the KOD, because Bianca does not have any other really established moves in her arsenal. My question for you, though, Lord Cash, relating to this match is, it kind of goes with the overall thing for night one, is what main events that night? Because we have the women's title match and the men's title match right here. My money is that Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair is going to be the main event for night one, personally.
I think it's kind of only right, as the Royal Rumble winner, that they actually do get to main event. If it's on 2 nights, if it's on one night, typically the men would be your main event for that evening. But because it is 2 nights, you give the opportunity for the ladies to have their main event that evening. I feel like this is a more a rival that, for better or for worse, has been building up. Maybe not as the best, but they've been at least paired together for quite some time.
Right.
Whether you're going after the women's tag team title belts, I feel that this one is going to be your main event over the Drew and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I get we're both in agreement on that then, because it's gotta quit the story. Lashley and McIntyre have a bit of a story, but they're not even taking advantage of it as much. Because I think when Fastlane ended this past month, or no, Elimination Chamber, I believe it was, when McIntyre lost his title, and it did have a lot to do with Lashley, which went to the whole thing of Lashley costing McIntyre by beating him up and letting Miz cash in. I think that Miz actually gained the most out of that as far as a storyline perspective. Obviously, Lashley became a dominant champion, taking the belt off the Miz in the meantime. But yeah, we do have this other match being another considerable main event match, but probably not the actual main event. In the spot itself. This is going to be a great match, and because it is not the main event officially in our predictions, I don't think we're going to see a title change in this match between McIntyre and Lashley.
I think you might be right, just because Bobby Lashley has been so dominant, taking everybody out as, Sheamus and all the other people that he's, the Miz. I do think that it is probably going to end in the Hurt Lock.
Yeah.
And Sheamus is going to tap out, possibly setting up a future rematch at Money in the Bank. Who knows?
Right. Yeah, I don't see it any other way. And I think that if he lost the title so soon after this like 20-year build in his career, 15, whatever it might be, I think it would almost do a disservice to Bobby Lashley as a performer, but also Bobby Lashley as just all the people he's gone through. McIntyre's had a heck of a run. You know, he's been built up very nicely over the last year. You know, when he started this whole run back in at beating Lesnar, you know, at Mania last year. But yeah, I think Lashley's gonna retain it, and I think it's gonna be good. Do you think by any chance that this whole Hurt business being broken up last week, which was, I don't know why they did that, but do you think that might have been like a clever ruse that maybe they are still together, and maybe it's almost kind of like tough love from Lashley's stable? I mean, I don't know. They were money. I was surprised that they eliminated them so soon.
Well, no, I don't, because we've been calling that they were going to be, you know, broken up a lot sooner. Now, when we did that, we were mentioning that Cedric Alexander was going to be getting the boot, and Shelton Benjamin was still going to stay on. But the fact that they weren't able to deliver, whether again that was storyline or not, I don't think that I don't think it is a ruse. I think the era of the Almighty is going through a structure change, and the new, it's going to be more of a singles world versus being, you know, a stable.
Okay. Yeah, I was almost thinking that if anything, too, that I think the stable will retain it, will be coming back, but I think we might have new members, like even Baron Corbin. It's feasible. I mean, he's going to be fighting what's his face? He's going to be fighting McIntyre tonight. Yeah, it's possible that he's going to be joining the Hurt business.
Yeah, I don't necessarily see him being part of it, especially because he's on SmackDown versus Raw. But again, anything is possible.
Right.
There could be a trade in the works.
Exactly, and I don't know. They do like the Raw draft, the draft like at different points throughout their year. It used to be right after WrestleMania they would do a draft, so you never know what could happen.
Right.
It's crazy to think, Lord Cash, we're only halfway done.
Yep.
We still got night 2 to go. But again, I think, you know, I think that we could. I think it's good to talk about these matches. There's a couple that I don't think are going to have a ton of conversation, you know, with them. And I think the first one to talk about would be your boy Sheamus getting a U.S. Championship match against your other boy, the original bro, Matt Riddle. Brian, you must be torn.
Like a piece of paper, man. No, see, I don't know if Sheamus is really my boy. Riddle's my bro, absolutely. And I know he kind of got handled the other night when he went up against Sheamus. So that kind of leads me to believe that the same fate is in store. But then again, I also think that he might be able to take some notes and come at it and still be able to come out the United States champion. So I think I might have to go with Riddle on this one.
So first of all, I think it's funny that this feud started over a scooter. But I'm glad that we can disagree on this one. I think Sheamus is going to pull out the United States Championship again. I think it'll make his second reign. You know, he always proves himself. He's been a very stable hand on the company, and those matches with McIntyre were absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
But he's coming out on the losing end so often. So I think this would be a nice way to get him back on track. Because honestly, I think Riddle would be better served as a tag team champion. At this point, I could see his character being so like eccentric. I could see him tagging up with somebody and then going after AJ and Omos and having a nice program there.
Right.
Because I think Sheamus is actually going to win the belt, and I think it's going to be clean. I think it's going to be a boot to the face. It's going to be a hard hitting match no matter what. But I think Sheamus is going to win the belt.
Yeah, it's one of those things where kind of just how I said it's like a 60-40. It could go either way.
Right.
Yeah. We'll just, this one's a Sunday night match, so we'll just see then.
Exactly. Now another match that, so I gotta say, I don't think I was disappointed. It was a little underwhelming, but this past week on SmackDown, Sami Zayn revealed his official trailer for his conspiracy documentary that Lord Cash, you and I have been waiting for quite some time. And one thing I was happy about was that Kevin Owens did not interrupt it.
Right.
You know, they at least had let it actually play out. Now on WrestleMania Night 2, are they going to let this one whole play out? Like, what's going to happen here, actually? Is Sami Zayn going to actually pull an upset against his former best friend? Or is Kevin Owens just going to continue stunning everybody and pull out a win against Sami Zayn? What are your thoughts on this night? Because also we're going to have Logan Paul involved, at least at ringside. I don't think he's a ref or anything. But this match right here, what are your thoughts on Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens?
So, to my knowledge, I don't recall Sami Zayn ever being able to beat Kevin Owens. I think every time that they fought, pretty much Kevin Owens has pulled out the victor. And I don't think that's going to be much of anything different.
So you're going for Kevin Owens? I
am going with Kevin Owens.
I think you're right, to be honest with you, but I'm a big fan of Sami Zayn, especially in this ridiculous character. I could see Sami Zayn winning by doing something he has not done yet, which is shocking to me. He's going to hit Kevin Owens over the head with one of his cameras. It's been happens outside the match this whole time.
Yeah, but it's a camera.
I know. They've done it in the past. Shawn Michaels lost his title to Sid by getting nailed by a camera. Just saying.
Yeah, but again, it's different when it's WWE's camera versus your own camera.
Oh, that's true. Sami doesn't want to lose that money.
Exactly. And then lose that footage. No, he ain't gonna do that.
But maybe it's Bluetooth. Maybe it's like wirelessly streaming.
It could be uploading up to the cloud automatically.
Could be. I'm gonna go with Sami Zayn just to kind of give us some mixture like we did earlier. So Casey wins. I can say I am against the conspiracy or for the conspiracy.
Now, do you think that possibly something is going to happen to absolutely show evidence of a true conspiracy? Like the ref goes 1, 2. Like the 3 or something that validates Sami Zayn's outlandish thinking that he's been having, that they are out to get him.
That would be amazing. Because that's something that we've never seen before, where like a heel to some degree is completely validated when you wouldn't think he would be. I would love that. I do see something though with that, but not as blatant. I wouldn't be surprised if like they like knock out the ref incidentally. And Sami Zayn might actually have a pinfall, argument because he's like, oh, I've got him pinned. He hits him with a haluva kick or whatever, and the ref's not there. I do see that, but I don't see a straight up like, nope. But that would be amazing.
Well, we'll have to find out Sunday if what the conspiracy happens. So make sure you bring your tinfoil hats with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now we're gonna continue on. This was a what is it? A Ghana? No.
Nigerian?
Yeah, a Nigerian drum fight. Okay.
Wait, what?
What's that?
Did I miss something?
Yeah, on SmackDown, he challenged Big E to a Nigerian drum fight. Now, okay. They're not going to be playing Rock Band or anything, which would be fantastic. But basically, what he said, what Apollo said was, it's a no rules street fight, and I'm gonna beat you like a drum. That's pretty much how, like he said, that like people in his country would beat each other, and it would sound like they're raining down on a drum. I'm like, okay, sure. I just think it's gonna be a ridiculous street fight. If it lives up to the to the quality of the street fight that Big E and Sheamus had around Christmas, I'm all in.
Right.
That was ridiculous. It's such a great match. I think this one's going to be okay. I think the name is kind of odd, but it's going to be no holds barred. So I think that opens up a lot of opportunity for an Apollo Crews victory, actually, because there's no rules.
Right. I'm going to have to go with my boy Big E. The fact that Apollo has taken certain liberties, that he is going to open up the can of whoopee ass. Yeah, we're gonna market that. Whoopee, the whoopee cushion. It's a whoopee ass. I don't know. Or maybe it is just a whoopee cushion. I don't know. I think he's going to bring it. And because if it's going to be a no holds barred, he is going to be able to use those steps, use chairs, use kendo sticks to dish out what he's been given, because with the fact of him being out for a little bit with this injury, that injury, he's going to quote unquote go eye for eye, and things of that nature. So I'm going for Apollo. I'm sorry, you're going for Apollo. I'm going for Big E.
Yeah, and I think that we're going to see Apollo's bodyguard / backup show up. I mean, they've been out in a couple weeks, so I think that's an opportunity for some shenanigans as well. But then again, the New Day are going to be there. You might see like one night reunion to kind of run those guys off. But yeah, we're in different places on this IC title match.
Yeah, well, that and you've got it on 2 different nights, so New Day is on Saturday and Big E's on Sunday. So they will be 2 ships passing in the night, possibly.
Right. Now this next match, I gotta say, I have a lot of I'm very impressed with Rhea Ripley and her ability to do something that we all would like to do. Just walk up to somebody and demand it. And get it.
And then get it.
Yeah, she debuts on Raw and just says, I want a title match. Asuka's like, okay. I would like to become principal of my school and just walk into the office one day and say, I'm done with teaching. I want your job. And I get it. I mean, maybe that's how it works in the real world. I don't know.
If you will actually go say, I want to thumb wrestle you for the honor of being principal, that's the equivalent.
Yeah, pretty much.
You at least have to, and I can go, okay, I quit. You can have my job. You at least have to earn, okay, yes, I will give you the opportunity to be principal or, Raw Women's Champion. But you at least have to do the work for it. So whether that is actually competing in a match against Asuka at WrestleMania or defeating your principal in a I declare a thumb war.
Yes. This is gonna be a great match in my opinion. Both these women are excellent in the ring. Rhea Ripley, if you haven't had a chance to see her in NXT, I strongly suggest checking out some of her previous matches. What a change that she made from being a kind of generic wrestler when she was in the Mae Young Classic a couple years ago, really taking over just with her look, her ring style. I mean, and I am a huge fan of Asuka, a big fan for many years. I would be shocked if we don't have a new champion, but then again, it's completely possible because I thought Rhea Ripley was going to beat Charlotte Flair last year, and she tapped.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to say, though. Our prediction on this match hinges on, does this remain a one-on-one match, or do we have some shenanigans tonight and a certain Charlotte Flair get involved? Because she's not on the card yet.
Well, yeah, because I know she was out due to COVID.
Right.
I think her 2 weeks is officially up. I really, really hope that it stays a one-on-one. Now, help me with this, if you will.
Sure.
Has Rhea and Asuka, do they fight each other in NXT?
No, they did not.
Okay.
Basically, Asuka retired undefeated,
Right.
and she relinquished the championship when she came to the main roster. And Rhea Ripley debuted on NXT officially. God, probably even 2 years after that. Ripley's only been with NXT for probably maybe 2 years.
Okay.
Maybe 3. Asuka's been on the main roster for that entire time. So yeah, I don't believe they've ever had a one-on-one contest. So no, I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, definitely that will be interesting. Um, Yeah, I think this will remain a one-on-one. I think Charlotte's going to take some additional time off since her boyfriend is no longer employed by the company. Yeah, I think that she's just going to take the break, come back after WrestleMania, let the dust settle, and then possibly come in. If Rhea Ripley's got the belt, then she's going to use last year's WrestleMania as a kind of a, I beat you last year for the NXT title. Now I want the Raw Women's title back, and I'm challenging you for like Money in the Bank, or whatever the case may be.
Okay. So now I got a prediction on that too, but ultimately, are you predicting though that we're gonna have a new women's champion, Rhea Ripley?
I think so, because has Asuka lost the title since she got it from Becky Lynch?
No, she's had the belt since since she well, no,
Money in the Bank last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Money in the Bank last year, and like she may have lost it because there's that whole Sasha Banks and Becky screwy thing over the summer where they both had the belt because they screwed over Asuka at one point at like the Extreme Rules of Horror show, I believe. So I don't know that she has had a solid uninterrupted reign. But even if maybe she lost the belt but not officially because Stephanie McMahon did something. I don't know. Last year was a confusing mess in the women's division. So we'll say yes, just for the sake of not having a true answer. But see, Asuka did not win at WrestleMania when she defended the title against Charlotte the last time, for example. So that was kind of a weird thing. I think that I think we're gonna have a new champion, but I think it's because she's actually gonna pin Charlotte Flair.
Okay, so you think it's gonna be a triple threat?
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't think we're gonna find that out tonight. I think that we're gonna find that out over WrestleMania weekend. She's gonna challenge on Saturday night to get put into this match, or she's just gonna straight up come out right before the match starts, and they'll accept her being in there. But I think that will give Rhea Ripley the opportunity to get her WrestleMania win back, and she'll beat Charlotte there. And then similarly, at Money in the Bank, there'll be a rematch between Asuka and Rhea Ripley to kind of say, I want my win back because you never beat me.
Right. I'm changing to Asuka. Is going to keep the belt.
Okay. All right.
At least for right now.
All right. You can't change it midway through the match, though.
Monday night, I'll change it.
Yeah, exactly. We have 2 more matches. One, what in God's name is going to happen here? The last time these 2 guys fought at WrestleMania, we had an overhead projector on the mat showing worms and fire. This feud has been interesting. It's been entertaining. I can never say that hasn't been the case. It's been odd, though.
Right.
Are we even going to see an actual match, or is it going to be like some kind of a movie match like they've been doing? Because that's a prediction in itself, Lord Cash.
Yeah, whether we're going to get an in-ring match or if it's going to be a theatrical one. There's no stipulations on it, right?
Not anything yet. Again, we still have Monday Night Raw. You never know. But right now, nothing.
I think it is going to be an actual match. Yeah, I don't think nothing on this card says okay. Yeah, so I would say nothing really screams theatrical match except this one.
Yeah.
Just because I don't think the last 2-3 WrestleManias, there's been some sort of like theatrical stuff going on, or at least the last few matches with the Fiend have been kind of very much theatrical.
Right. But the thing is though, you've had this whole year, no fans. Do you think the fans would like completely crap on this if all of a sudden like, oh, we got to sit here for half an hour?
Yeah, nah. The fact that it is going to have audience, that really solidifies my answer. There's not going to be nothing theatrical. Since it's an actual match, you know, a pinfall 1, 2, 3. Unless something changes, it's gonna take place all in the ring. There's gonna be no going out back, you know, of the stadium and whatever. It'll be inside, unless it happens in the pirate ship.
Yeah, somebody's got to go up there.
I would love for Seth Rollins to swing in from it.
I don't know. Kevin Owens last year, he jumped on the sign.
Or maybe Cesaro can swing in from it.
I see what you did there.
Yep. Since we no longer have Mr. Pirate in the WWE.
Paul Burchill.
Yeah, which I loved him.
Yeah.
I loved his character. I thought it was fantastic.
I love that he actually did swing in on the rope.
Yep.
Yeah, so I do think because of what we just talked about, it's going to be a real match. However, so Fiend is going to win. I feel.
I think he kind of has to.
Yeah.
Just to solidify him. And I'm wondering if the win is what's going to heal him, give him the strength to heal himself to come back as the Fiend as we once knew. That the burn will heal away.
Well, I would love to be able to say that a wrestling victory can handle and create a cure for any disease or any condition, but I don't know about that. I do think this is my extra point for this because we're in agreement. The Fiend's going to win. But how long is the match going to be? Once the bell rings, under 5 minutes.
Under.
Okay, I agree. Under 3 minutes.
Over.
I think it's going to be less than a minute.
Okay.
I think it is literally going to be like all the intros, all the pizzazz, and then Randy Orton goes for an RKO. The Fiend mandible claws him, beats him, and then basically just destroys him after the match.
Okay.
Because in that costume, I don't know what that costume is made out of. I mean, I'm sure they tested it, but it just doesn't look like a that's kind of like Kane, actually. I don't know. I'm just curious how long he'll be in that costume for an actual match in Florida.
Right.
I really think it's going to be like a wham bam done and then destruction after the fact.
Checking the weather.
Yeah. I remember when we went, I was the last time I went to WrestleMania was in New York and it was very cold. It was WrestleMania 29, I believe.
So as of right now, there's a 30% chance of rain. The high is 84 and the low is 66 that day.
And yes, $5.99.
Okay.
And yes, there might be $5.99 specials going on that day.
I know.
So I have a feeling this is going to be going on later in the evening. So that sun's going to definitely drop a little bit. This will probably be, in your 8-9 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
So with that, it'll be a lot cooler in the afternoon.
Yeah, no, I would agree. That does make sense. Because I know a friend of mine was in Florida last week and he said it was in the 90s. So
the last few days have been, oh my gosh, amazing in the 70s. It's been beautiful.
That's the best. They actually been here too, like that. So that's nice. All right. Wrapping it up. This has been almost as long as a WrestleMania pay-per-view, it feels like. But final match. We have been talking about the twists and turns, the ins and out of this match. quite honestly, this match or this title reign itself has probably had the best run, the best story behind it all the way through since Roman Reigns won the belt last summer. Yeah, last summer I think it was. The bottom line is Roman Reigns is defending in a 3-way against Edge and Daniel Bryan. So many stories coming into this, so many possibilities. I'm looking forward to this match almost as much of anything else. Great match coming into this. Lord Cash, what are your thoughts about this match in itself?
Yeah, this is probably definitely top 3 matches for the entire pay-per-view. This one's going to be tough to call. I can argue a win and a loss for every single person in this match. I feel like I could. I don't know that what is Edge's belt pedigree? What does it look like? I'm going to use that as my base. You know, I know he's won the WWE title. How close, like Grand Slam wise, is he? And would this even be considered part of a Grand Slam?
All right, so Edge has held either WWE or a world title 10 times.
Okay.
Continental champion, I believe 3 times, maybe 4. He's a King of the Ring. He's won the Royal Rumble twice. He has been tag team champions like 12 times. I don't know that he ever won the European title or hardcore title. So when we talk about Grand Slam, it kind of depends on which belt you're considering. He was a United States champion as well. He unified that belt with the Intercontinental title back in Survivor Series 2001 when he fought Test in a unification title match. So by definition, yes, he is a Grand Slam champion. I don't believe he actually ever carried the United States Championship, but by definition, he did win it at that pay-per-view back in 2001. So his legacy is solid. Hall of Famer as well. He really doesn't have anything else to prove. Really, the big thing in this, at least from what I see, is the storyline purpose of like him overcoming his debilitating injury that caused him to retire 8 years ago, to go through all of that, get back on the top. The reason that I don't pick Edge, there's a couple reasons. One is that story really lent itself better to him when he was a good guy.
Right.
Because at this point, I don't think there's going to be a lot of like storyline excitement of saying like, oh my God, he did it. Yay for him. So I don't think he's going to win it. I think he's just going to get close. He's going to lose. And then he is going to destroy whoever wins. Because that was what I was talking about with my prediction with the Cesaro thing. I figured that Cesaro would be able to win in some kind of capitalized fashion because Edge would lose and then leave Daniel Bryan, what I thought, like in such a bad shape that Daniel Bryan would still want to defend because he's got the heart of a champion, but he'd be in such bad shape. So, yeah, I don't think Edge is pulling this one out, personally.
Yeah. I don't foresee that happening either.
Roman Reigns could kind of like, he could win because the other two blow up. I don't know why it keeps doing this. I apologize. I have it paused and it keeps coming on. But like, I could see Reigns eking out a victory. Again, if the other two eliminate each other more or less.
Right. Which I could definitely see that happening very easily. Because there's more tension between Edge and Daniel Bryan than Roman Reigns has with the other two, because he's just there facilitating the event. But there's definitely the fact that Edge has animosity towards Daniel Bryan because he feels that he's kind of weaseled himself into this. And because of that, now there's that animosity towards Edge from Daniel Bryan. So I can definitely, that's one of the reasons why I feel that, Roman Reigns could pull out the victory on this. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one, which that's one of the things that makes this match as good as it is because it literally could go. Edge could pull out the victory.
Sure. It's no disqualification.
Yeah, it's man. So what is your opinion? What is your thoughts on who's actually going to take this one?
I'm going with Daniel Bryan because I like Daniel Bryan a lot, and I still am holding out hope that there's going to be maybe at the next show that Cesaro will get a title shot against Daniel Bryan.
Right.
And I can respect good guy versus good guy title match. And that could still leave Edge and Roman Reigns to fight over, who screwed who. So I am going to go with Daniel Bryan because I think it tells a good story. But like you said, though, I could see any of these guys pulling out the win. And I think it's going to leave the storyline in the main event in good shape, no matter what, going forward.
So I am going to go with Roman Reigns right now. Because I do feel that the animosity between Daniel Bryan and Edge is not done.
Agreed.
I feel that this is going to be a match that's going to carry over into Money in the Bank, and I don't think a title needs to be on the line. I feel like it needs to be personal. So because Daniel Bryan, I think Roman Reigns is going to pin Edge.
Okay.
Because of Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is going to do something to Edge that is going to allow Roman Reigns to pin Edge. And because of that, he's going to come after Daniel Bryan.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my storyline. So who do you think Daniel Bryan's going to pin?
I think that in this match, Daniel Bryan is very similarly. I do think that he's going to pin Edge. I think it's going to basically keep Roman Reigns strong because he's going to have some beef to be able to say he never won or never lost, I should say.
Right.
Edge is just one of those heels that he'll find a way to complain one way or another. I think everyone's going to get screwed one way or another. I mean, I think Daniel Bryan's going to have a pinfall victory early in the match, but the referee's not going to be there. I think everybody's going to get, had something going on in it. So everybody's going to walk out of the smelling like roses no matter what. But I think we are going with two different people, at least for the victory. You're keeping the tribal chief retaining.
I think I am. And like I said, that's just based on the storyline in my head. That's how I see it.
Gotcha.
So
we got some points coming, Lord Cash. I look forward to seeing who is correct, who's because no matter what, we're going to have a lot of points one way or another as we go into our next pay-per-view and further into our series to figure out who's going to win the coveted Slam Nation Wrestling Trophy Championship belt, box of chocolates, whatever it ends up being.
Yeah, I think at each pay-per-view we might pass it off to each other to figure out what's going on. So we might pick the first winner after WrestleMania, and then we'll just have to go from there. Money in the Bank, we might see a change of hands. So
I think so. Although I have beautiful hands.
There you go.
Now, just so everybody knows, again, if you're as you've been watching, long show today because WrestleMania 2 nights, a lot of stuff going on. This is the biggest week of the year for professional wrestling. We're going to continue that tradition. We're going to have a really big show on Wednesday at 8 p.m. It's going to be our night 2 of our random professional wrestling photographs. Woo! It's pretty cool stuff. So basically, I was able to procure a bunch of vintage photos from the mid-90s, from WWF shows, from WCW shows, and ECW shows in the Northeast area. These were actually taken in the crowd by a photographer. There are some photos that were taken backstage and outside the arenas as well. We got to see quite a few fun ones recently when we did our last show last month. But this Wednesday, we're going to be taking a look at some more. We'll have my friend Tim's going to be on as well again. And Lord Cash, will you be able to be on this time or kind of?
Unfortunately, I will most likely not be. I will be out delivering packages through Amazon.
Well, while Lord Cash is delivering those packages, we'll be delivering a kick of nostalgia.
There you go.
But if you ever want to watch, everybody, if you've ever missed any of our episodes, whether it be for Slam Nation, whether it be our previous photo show, Funko Pop, Funko Royalty, iStream, Ustream, Mail Call, you name it, any of our shows, you can always watch them. They are still on our YouTube channel for New York Nerd Show. You can watch them on Facebook Live as well, and on Twitch. You could see the ones that happened basically for the past month. But if you go on any of those channels, make sure you do like, share, and subscribe. We do appreciate your viewership and your support because, again, without you, it's just Lord Cash and myself talking on a Zoom call.
Which, hey, I'm all for sometimes.
Well, just sometimes.
Yeah. Well, the other time I want interaction. I need that human interaction. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Yes, there are times. But Lord Cash, has been a great show, though. I mean, I always thank you for everything that you do, and I look forward to seeing how WrestleMania week plays out.
Yeah, and definitely check us this Thursday night. Another show that we're going to be doing is part of the iStream Ustream. That's one of our other shows we do where we focus in on one of the streaming shows. Right now, we're focusing on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So we'll be talking about episode number 3. I think it was called The Power Broker. And we're going to go talk about that one. This one, there's a lot of cool little Easter eggs in it that I can't wait to share. I'm not talking about them now. Relax, dude. So definitely check us on Thursday night at 8 o'clock. And we'll be able to share those with you. And again, subscribe, because we've got a couple shows that are more stable, as well as, when they're going to happen. That's usually Monday and Thursday. All the other ones are fair game. So subscribe to us so that when we do go live, you'll be able to get those notifications. And
just so you guys know, commenting on what Lord Cash is saying, we are hoping to have a more set schedule for all of our shows. Hopefully sometime even this week we'll start setting that up, because we've got a lot of content that we've already got set up. So hopefully we'll be able to get more on a regular schedule with that for sure.
Right on. I love it.
I love it. I love it more.
Fine. You can love it more.
Yes.
I'll let you
have everybody. We appreciate for coming on today on New York Nerd Show's Slam Nation Wrestling. And with that being said, let me find the little box for the outro. Lots of stuff on here today.
It's under video clips.
I know. I'm looking for it. Oh, there it is. All right, guys. Adios. See you next time.